U-GeekTV.
Welcome back to U-GeekTV. I am your host, Jarius, the unapologetic geek, and we are back. Well, actually, this is the first installment, at least the first one that I'll be publishing of the Unapologetic Football Show. Hopefully, prayerfully, we'll be coming at you all Monday, Tuesday-ish to talk about what's been going on over the weekend with football. I'm joined by my co-host, Hoodie CM, otherwise known as Chris. Tell people what's up, bro.
What's going on, y'all? Glad to be here, man. Let's get it.
And my boy, Greg, the Gym Geek Gamer. The Gym Geek Gamer is also joining me, man. And yeah, we're gonna get into some football topics. We're gonna have a lot of fun, and man, it's a lot of shit to talk about. And I definitely want to start where everybody knows we'll inevitably start. I think every sports talk radio show or whatever started here today, and yeah, the Cowboys are cooked. It's over. It's over with, man. You can eulogize them. I mean, I saw Jerry Jones coming out there talking about he ain't considering firing nobody, sad, telling lies, or maybe half truths, just old as hell. I did not know it was that man's birthday, and that made that made that game even worse, bro. I'm gonna tell you, like, I'm not even gonna spend a whole lot of time on this, but I do have a story to tell. My daughter was looking at this game with me, and she said, "Man, I'm just sad for the Cowboys." And I was like, "Baby girl, why? Like, what's going on?" And she was like, "It's like they always lose." And she was born in 2008. I bullshit you not. This kid said, "Ever since I've been alive, I'm just used to them losing. That's all they do." And they fans are just so sad to me because how can you just continue to root for a team that look now? Look, I know I can only say so much as a Chargers fan. I'm not used to no championships and dynasties and all that kind of stuff. Chris, you're a Colts fan. You've had more recent championships, but you know, it's been a while. It's been a good while. Greg is probably the most spoiled out of all of us as a Patriots fan, so he's used to being in championships, but now he's used to losing like Cowboys.
Yeah, say all that. You ain't gotta go down
there. And what I'm saying is like it's just it's a company of errors. And yet again, man, we are at this point where this team is cooked. There is no reason to believe that they have anything left in the tank, if you ask me. Chris, I'll start with you, man. What were your thoughts watching this abysmal showing from the Dallas Cowboys?
It was good to see, bro. I ain't gonna lie to you, man. You know, half my family, they Cowboy fans, man. Shout out my pops, man. I guess him and Jerry Jones was bound to be. It was his birthday too. So, hey, can we watch the game? Can we? Nah, bro, we ain't watching that game. And then I was like, you know what? I got a job to do. Let's watch the game. Man, I was rubbing my feet together like a cricket watching that game, dog. It was enjoyable, man. Like, I've been a firm believer of the Lions since they got Goff. I just figured they had to get the right pieces. But seeing Dallas lose that way, man, and then like the perfect shot was the reverse camera of the end zone, and all you saw was the offense and the sun beaming through the lights. It's like, no wonder Dak throwing picks, bro. He can't see.
He can't fucking see. Dumbass sun, dumbass window right there. Let me tell you something, man. That was funny. And it really put in perspective what was going on in the game. The Lions, when they got disrespectful, they started calling passing plays for the offensive lineman, man. That shit was so disrespectful. But it's like right up there with the Chiefs doing the ring around the Rosie plays. It's up there. Like, that was so disrespectful. And honestly, that was a big man touchdown that just got called back because it was two linemen downfield. That was a fucked up part. It was two linemen downfield, man. So Detroit, you get a couple negative points for not knowing how to run the big man touchdown play right. However, it was wholly entertaining. Greg, I'll kick it to you. What were your thoughts?
Man, first and foremost, I pray that anybody that's a Cowboys fan, I'm not gonna call them out, but there are two people, even though my team lost, there are two people I really wish I could have them join so I could just, bury them in the flames. But watching that game, man, to be honest, the first thing I really want to call out, y'all let the Lions run a flea flicker on y'all? A whole flea flicker, bro?
When the last time we seen a flea flicker?
Bruh, and the way they pulled it off flawlessly for a touchdown, get real. And to be honest, the Lions defense made Dak Prescott look like he had just came off the bench from being a tile manager. Like they was on his bumper, bro. Like they was all on his bumper. And I felt no remorse for him. I felt so good seeing that number 4 laying on that ground after so many plays. Like it just looked like that was his destiny to be buried on that field. Because the Lions, I ain't gonna lie to you, the Lions, man, they look scared, bro. Somebody said this the other day at the gym. They're like, the Lions is a team that I'm scared of. I'm like, what? And then I see this game and I'm like, oh, okay. They weren't playing. And I think having Montgomery and Gibbs, like those two North and South runners they had, man, ate them up. That, to be honest, shout out to CeeDee Lamb for what they did for the Cowboys. But when they had two North and South runners the way they had in that game, man, the Cowboys weren't surviving that. And I'm happy.
The Lions are one of the few teams that have a plethora of receivers, got 2 running backs, and they got a solid tight end and a competent quarterback. Like people try to say Jared Goff is a game manager. If Jared Goff really got to light your ass up, he'll do it. Right. And I've seen him do it several times. If he really got to do it, he will. The biggest thing holding the Lions back, and honestly, the biggest thing that kept them from the Super Bowl last year was coaching. Dan Campbell just made all the wrong calls because he had the 49ers dead to rights. A lot of people forget that. He had the 49ers dead to rights, and he just started making stupid mistakes. And that tough guy football, it's a time and place for it. It's a time and place for an ego. It's a time and place to try and call a play to rally your troops. And it just wasn't working out in the NFC Championship game that ultimately cost them a berth in the football. People were saying that he should have been fired. I disagree with that. And I still think he's a fine coach. But as long as he can keep that in check, the NFC is pretty wide open right now, man. Like, the NFC kind of scary. The NFC North alone is scary because Green Bay, Chicago, who we're going to get into, Minnesota, and what was the last team? Detroit. Duh. All of them have like superior offenses. I don't know if you guys have noticed it. All of their offenses, they got weapons everywhere on all 4 of those offenses. No damn NFL team. I mean NFC team want to see want to see anybody from the NFC North in the playoffs right now. No, get your ass up. Pause. Anyways, man, from the NFC North and fortunately out of the NFC East, let's go to the AFC North. I think, this is the right division. AFC North. We do agree that the Ravens look like, at least on paper, at least in practice, the Ravens look like the best team in the NFL to me.
Yeah.
And they're doing something that I like to call common sense football. When you have a great player on your team, if you have a quarterback and you have a great receiver, it stands to reason that, if you keep throwing to them, you're going to have offensive success if you're worth a damn. Unless you're somebody like, what's that boy name? He over there in New Orleans now. What is his name? David Carr. Unless or Derek Carr. Is it Derek? Yeah, Derek Carr. David Carr is the one that used to play for the Texans. Yeah. Derek Carr couldn't use the common sense God gave him. Just throw to Devontae Adams when he had it. But, just whatever. Apparently, it's difficult to get Devontae Adams the ball. Another thing, Sam Darnold has learned this. Yes, I have Justin Jefferson on my team. It'll probably be a good idea for me to throw to Justin Jefferson. Well, it took the Ravens a couple games to get here, but they finally got here. Yeah, you got Derrick Henry in the backfield. Mm-hmm. It stands to reason that if we give him the ball, we'll be successful.
We'll be all right.
Let me tell you something about Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry is a grown-ass man. All right? He always has been. You put that boy in the I formation and get the fuck out the way.
He wear low tops.
That's all you got to do. Greg, I know you've enjoyed talking about Derrick Henry in the past. The floor is yours, my brother.
Man, I'm gonna keep talking about Derrick Henry because to this day, I thought that was the best decision the Ravens was gonna make, and it's showing true. I mean, honestly, when I looked at that game, Derrick Henry and Flowers, I can't think of his first name right now. Both of them, both of them ate that defense up. Like the Commanders could not do anything with Derrick Henry, and I'm still standing on it. He is going to break that total rush yard record. I kid you not. If he keep having games the way he's having right now, he stays healthy, I promise Derrick Henry's gonna take that record, man. Like, I mean, powerful running back. I mean, to be honest, it's almost scary how comfortable he is when he runs. Like, I don't see any, you don't ever see any type of like hesitation. Like when he sets his route, that's it. You either finna get out the way or he gonna put you out the way. Like that's the only two options you got. And with a powerful running back like Derrick Henry, I'm really starting to believe that this may be the Ravens' year, man. This might be their year. Like I know it's been a lot of upsets in football, and you really can't say how the end gonna look, but I really do believe that the Ravens. I mean, they got their ticket, man.
So, one of my favorite TV shows and really comic books is X-Men. And Derrick Henry has always reminded me of the Juggernaut. It's the longer he moves, the more momentum he gets, the stronger he gets. And he just keeps on going. It gets to the point where he starts to break a defense. They're gassed. They're barely getting a hand on him. And he's one of the few running backs in history, really. It is always good for a 30 to 35 yard run every game. You have to be worried about that. Chris, what are your thoughts about how the Ravens are performing so far?
Man, I'm in the same boat, man. I mean, all they needed was a healthy backfield. All the years that L Boogie has been there, between J.K. Dobbins and Gus Edwards always getting hurt, and of course he's been running for 1,000 yards, but that's because he kind of had to. Now, he probably still will get there, but he's not the number one option in that backfield no more. And when you got a Hall of Famer like 22 back there, like you said, get the fuck out the way.
Right.
That's and nobody's talking about the way this defense is playing. I am not a Notre Dame fan at all. But when they drafted Kyle Hamilton, I was like, they got him. Like, this dude lines up at DN, linebacker, slot corner, outside corner, box safety, field safety. Like, the man is a Swiss Army knife, man. When you put somebody like that and Roquan Smith on the field together, hey, you don't want to see Derrick Henry. You don't want to see 0 and 14 running at you either when you got that ball in your hands, man. So, but I did see something right quick, though. I want to ask y'all. I saw somewhere where they said that Derrick Henry and maybe Christian McCaffrey, do y'all believe that they are the last two running backs that might get into the Hall of Fame?
Nope.
Well, considering the history of football, there's bound to be some more running backs right now, currently in the NFL.
Yeah.
Given their resume so far, right now, they're the only two Hall of Famers I see in the entire NFL. I'm trying to think of someone else, and really nobody else has had a trajectory because running backs are kind of a flash in the pan. Christian McCaffrey's opening years was so dominant. That's where a lot of his numbers are going to come from. And then that season last season, that was just ridiculous.
Right.
And then Derrick Henry is the model of consistency in terms of the running back position. So those two guys, I could see them being the last ever. No, but right now in the NFL, they're the only two Hall of Famers. Unless Greg, you got somebody else in mind?
I'm a kind of I'm agree with you to a certain extent, because there was a question a couple of months ago before the season started, and I think somebody asked, is the running back position dying out? And you kind of do see that, but at the same time, I think within the NFL, I mean, having the 2 running backs like Derrick Henry and McCaffrey, like Jerry said, I definitely think it would be in this time frame that they'd be the only 2. But overall, I think we probably have maybe 2 more that'll probably get in there from college. But it won't be any time. Like, it won't be any time within the next 4 or 5 years, definitely. But them 2, oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
That's
So yeah, as of right now, man, in the AFC, of course, it's always gonna be the Chiefs. The Houston Texans they are something to behold. And the fact that it shows how important the quarterback position is, but also important how important the organization is. To me, CJ Stroud and Jaden Daniels, they right there next to each other in terms of the impact that they've had immediately on their organizations by being drafted there. But yeah, the Texans are going to be a problem in the AFC, as well as the Chiefs. If the Ravens can get those 2 out the way, because the Bengals are done. The Bengals, they could barely pull off a win against the Giants. The Bengals are done. If they can get past those 2, yeah, and I don't take the Bills seriously anyway. So yeah, I see the Ravens going back. I see the Ravens going back, and this time they may make it to the Super Bowl. So let's just go ahead and do it. Browns, Jags, Raiders. Y'all get out of here. It's over with. It's over with for all y'all. It's done. The Browns is the most depressing football I've seen in some time. And I sat up there and watched Jacoby Brissett just stink it up for several weeks so far. Thank God Drake May has come in for the Patriots organization. And at least the Patriots football is watchable again. I know he had some turnovers and some issues, but at least it's watchable again. The Browns are not watchable. Please get them up out of here. The Jaguars, Trevor Lawrence is looking like he ain't what he's supposed to be. Doug Peterson is about to be out of another job again. And then the Raiders are so dysfunctional. I just say they go ahead and tank. Just go ahead and tank. You got some good enough quarterbacks coming out this year. Shedeur Sanders is going to be up for grabs. Go for it. But in terms of these 3 teams, or if there's another team you just want to go ahead and tell to pack up, the floor is yours to do so. Go ahead, Chris.
I mean, they looking like the big 3, the wrong big 3, but they the big 3 for sure. Yeah, Browns football, man. I seen a stat earlier. They the only team in the league this year that has not scored 20 plus points in the game. So that's all you need to know. The Jags, and I feel so bad that the Jags got their only win against us. I don't know what it is. The last few years, we just have not been able to beat the Jags. But besides that, I'm loving the failures that they got going on because they have a talented roster of players.
Mm-hmm.
They got weapons on offense. They have a solid defense. But like you said, Doug Peterson just can't get them boys up no more, man. And I love to see it. The Raiders, yeah, like I feel like they could be in that same tier, like you mentioned earlier, with Houston and Washington. I think they just need a quarterback. And this draft class is going to be a decent, solid enough draft class with quarterbacks. I mean, you got Beck, Shedeur Sanders, Cam Ward. You got some options. So you might want to start looking at one of them boys coming out of college, man. It's about time to pack it up.
Absolutely, man. If Antonio Pearson wants to stick around for a little while, it'll be in his best interest to get in there and try and figure out who his quarterback is going to be, man. It's so much, only so much rumble tumble. Hey, we're going to do this and do that, and we're going to play hard nose ball. It's only so much of this shit you can do. Because I honestly, by the way, Justin Fields has saved Mike Tomlin, if you ask me. They finally got a quarterback worth a damn. Which on the flip side, and I mentioned that we were going to talk about this. I guess we can do it here. Caleb Williams makes Justin Fields look worse, but he shouldn't. Because these motherfuckers went and got the right weapons that needed to be around Justin Fields and put them around Caleb Williams. Caleb Williams is emerging into a good quarterback, or at least a competent one. And on the flip side, like that's why everything looks so good. But again, he's using common sense. He's playing common sense football. Like I got all these weapons I'm gonna throw to him. We're gonna be in business. No, I see some people trying to question Justin Fields, but you can't really do that because on his side of the fence, like he's sitting up here rushing the ball in and all that kind of stuff. He's just doing Justin Fields things. And so the Steelers look fine and the Bears look fine. I'm more interested to see how the rest of their schedule plays out. As of right now, to me, Jaden Daniels is the rookie of the year, and it's not going to even be close. Really. But with that being said, you have another team. I mean, you can even choose the Patriots if you would like to just go ahead and tell to go home, Greg.
No. Yes. Yeah. Man, which I knew this was coming. We definitely gonna have to be in a strong rebuild phase, and I hate to say it, and I pray them two people that I really want to watch this don't see this, but we kind of looking like the Cowboys right now, man. Like everybody's still hosting oh man, we got these rings, we a dynasty and all that. Yeah, that's great. I used to sit on them laurels for a little minute, but now I'm looking at it as, man, we struggling. I mean, it's not even a good struggle at that. It's the way we've been playing. I don't even know if we're gonna be even allowed to watch the playoffs, let alone the Super Bowl. we might be in timeout for the playoffs, man. It's looking bad, man. It's looking bad.
Y'all boy a little rough out there, man. But look, at least I got somebody with some talent because Jacoby Brissett, he just ain't it. He's just gonna be a career backup. I know that sounds harsh, especially because somebody who has to play the game or anything like that. But it is what it is. Nothing that indicates that he should be playing or anything like that. So yeah, it just is what it is. And the Patriots, I don't know how long your rebuild will last. I do see an avenue where you guys could, kind of come back and start to make the playoffs again and things like that. But yeah, it's gonna take some time. So that being said, we're gonna move on, man. We're about to switch gears. And I've kind of done with the NFL. Was there anybody else that you all wanted to talk about? I know I talked about the Bengals in passing. I really didn't even want to waste my time on that because that was until you got Joe Burrow just rushing to get extra effort touchdowns against the Giants. You guys got a problem. You guys have a serious problem, and you all need to go get some help.
Yeah, they need to rebuild during the game.
You up there on the side, just on the clipboard, like, hey man, it's a full assessment. Every game is an assessment, and we gonna get rid of your ass. Like the worse you look, the more likely we gonna get rid of your ass.
Right.
But let's switch gears, man. Let's go to college, and honestly, we just gonna do a blitz, man. We about to cover everything we can. That Ohio State and Oregon game. Woo! I take pride in looking at Ohio State losses. I really do. And this goes all the way back to the Tostitos Fiesta Bowl against the University of Miami. I'm a Miami fan. We're gonna make the playoffs, by the way. The Hurricanes, we going to the playoffs. Don't worry about that. But every time Ohio State loses something, I have great joy. When they win, I have great sorrow. And they lost. They lost a major game. It was in comical fashion. Now, somebody tried to say the coach of Oregon was a genius because they said that he did some shit. Basically, what was it? They were trying to suggest that he took a penalty, I think like a holding penalty or something downfield to run 4 seconds off the clock. And it basically made the Ohio State quarterback just do some dumb shit, and he just ran the rest of the time out or something like that. That was funny. I don't think that coach was that much of a genius to like recognize that all those things came together. But the way they lost, like they lost on this dude just doing the scramble. Like, what the fuck are you doing? You don't have any timeout. Just chuck the bitch in the air. That's what you're supposed to do. Just chuck it in there. Why are you running, man? You are not Michael Vick, first of all. That's the first.
That walk-off touchdown in him, man.
Nah, he was like, "This is my time." Is they on some John Cena shit? My time is now. He just took out running in the middle of the field, did a full-on baseball slide. Like somebody's gonna be able to fucking get together and do a hurry-up offense. That was such a funny way for the game to end. It was truly pathetic. Chris, you're more of a college guy than both of us. Man, I'm gonna go ahead and let you cook on that, bro.
Hey, I'm in the same boat, man. I've always kind of loved Miami, you know, not a Miami fan, but you know, when you got somebody like Ed Reed coming out of my backyard and, you know, Sean Taylor, two of the GOATs, man, like I've always respected Miami football. And yeah, that wasn't no PI that they called, you know what I'm saying?
It never was. It never will.
We just gonna say that right quick, you feel me? But nah, I'm in the same boat as you, bro. Whenever Ohio State take an L, hey, it's a good day for me because I know some obnoxious Ohio State fans, man. They'll never let you live anything down. So when they lose, hey, I'm clapping, I'm standing up, man. But it was a brilliant game.
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Nah. It was a brilliant game, man. I mean. You saw that Ohio State defense get exposed in ways you didn't think they could. You know, people thought that secondary with Caleb Downs transferring in was the strength of that team, and people talking up Denzel Burke, one of the best corners in the nation, and Evan Stewart lit him up for 140, and Tez Johnson beat him with a 48-yard touchdown. Like, man, shit, you would have thought I was a quarterback. I was getting off the sofa, running to the door, man. I love to see it, man. Like, I mean, they played a good game, but like you said,
yeah, they did.
Dumb shit, bro. Dumb
shit.
It
was the dumb shit. That shit was so stupid to me, man. I couldn't get over it. When I saw that shit, I could not get past it, man. I was like, what is he doing? You chucked that motherfucker. I know some Ohio State alums. That was what I was getting ready to say. I know some Ohio State alums, very smart people. In the event that they see this, my hate for Ohio State does not extend to you. You know?
Right.
With that being said, man, like I don't know if this higher education was working out for that boy. Because I would love to analyze the game the way you did so eloquently, and I appreciate that, by the way. I cannot get off the fact that man ran up the middle and slid down. I can't get past that, man. I've been trying to get past that shit all weekend, and I can't. It won't let me go. It would not let me go. Greg, what did you think about quite possibly the stupidest ending to one of the best games of the year?
You know what this reminds me of? That J.R. Smith play when he thought they still. That's exactly
get off my boy Swish, man. Get off my boy Swish.
Right, that's exactly what I thought of. But it's sitting at the clock like, I thought we had 30 seconds left. I was gonna take a dive, coach. Nah, bro.
No timeout. We had no way to stop the clock. You didn't even get the first down because you know you get the first down in college. Just stop it for a couple of seconds.
Right.
He didn't even do that.
So it was clock management was one of the worst things I saw for that. And they had two costly penalties that got them, two pass interference penalties that cost them that game, both offense and defensive pass interference. And I think when you have something like that, plus you're terrible with your clock management, it just shows in that game. I mean, they're still a strong team, but they're not a powerhouse. That game was great. I give it that. But there's still some cues that they were missing on in that game. And I hate to really go back to that, but man, just seeing him do that, it just didn't seem like that was leader mentality, bro. That was not leader mentality, man. You put your boys in war and basically got shot. That's basically what happened. Like, you got shot and now everybody like, what was he thinking, dog? Like, I know the dude that drove the bus probably was like, bro, I could have got out there and did better than that, dog. I could have saved the game for y'all. We probably still be out there right now. Yeah, but man, that game made me open my eyes a little bit more about Ohio State and where I see them further. That the game was good, but I still see them losing to two more teams, Michigan and Penn State. I know we're going to get on Penn State, but I really do see them losing to Michigan and Penn State. Just by how I guess the defense and the offense played well. I give them that, but I still don't see them strong enough to make the playoffs this year. And that's just me. And I'm gonna stamp that. I might be wrong, but I'm not seeing Ohio in the playoffs.
You can get 3 losses. It's gonna take a lot. That's what I'm really looking forward to with this 12-team playoffs. What eliminates a team? What kind of chaos are we gonna get ready to see? We know who the automatic bids are gonna be, right? The power, the big four.
Yeah.
You win those you're in. But I want to see the chaos because that's one of my favorite parts about the NFL season. When it comes down to those last weeks, oh my God, don't let it come down to week 18. And there's a bunch of scenarios where some teams have to win and other teams have to lose. Oh, I want to see that with the fervor and the frenzy of college fans, man. That's gonna be amazing. And you know what's really sweet about college football, because there's still a committee, right? Yeah, there's still a committee who's gonna vote. That part right there is so chaotic because you can't then rely on one team losing and this is gonna get another team in like in the NFL.
Right.
It's how much you lose by, how much you win by, what makes you look strong, and it's gonna come down to the human being who's gonna pretty much fuck you over.
Yeah.
That is the essence of that with a 12-team college playoff. Oh, I can't wait, man. We might do a special. We might do a live special that night.
I know this is kind of like switching a little bit of gears, but something that really bothered me about that game is the players spitting. Like I really do not commend that at all in any way. And to see somebody like for one, you're at Ohio, but you also have to realize you're on TV and you're a role model. And displaying disrespect in that manner and forgetting that this is 2024 where everything has a camera. Bro, I don't know how that'll play in the voting factor, but I know that's probably gonna be something brought up.
It's a great point.
Yeah, like is this a team we would like to see in the playoffs play? Because nobody's gonna forget that. Nobody's gonna forget that. And if they do make it that far and they put themselves in that situation, now you're like, okay, do we feel like they have the integrity to be a championship team? Like, if they win this, can I say I'm glad Ohio State was, we made that decision to let Ohio State in? Like, that's something I thought about when I saw that.
That's deep. Boy, you took it deeper than I could have. It's deep right there, but there's something to think about. There's legitimate something to think about. So Greg, why you with it, man? Why you cooking up something? What Alabama? They almost got you, didn't it?
They did. They almost got it, bro.
South Carolina almost got out on y'all boys,
man.
So hold on before you go there. No, you know what? Go ahead. I want to see what you got to say.
We are not playing Bama football. We are not playing Bama football. This is not Nick Saban's football team anymore. And I think a lot of those players on that team are playing like that. And it's a shock. It's a shock now. We're not the team that can walk. We're not Alabama Crimson Derrick Henry, because basically that's what they feel like. We're gonna walk into every game and we're gonna play like a powerhouse. I don't feel like this team is a powerhouse right now. We have a strong offensive score right now, but I really feel like Alabama is they need to learn how to adjust and adapt. And I think they're getting too late now to where you're trying to figure that out. And you'll be 3 or 4 losses before you realize, okay, this is what we need to adjust. This is what we need to make those drastic movements. And I feel like Alabama, I love them, but I think this is another team that just, I mean, it's gonna come down to a vote. If anything, it may come down to a vote, and that's gonna be a scary thing because I don't know if we're gonna see them in the playoffs. I don't know, man. Like, and it's scaring me real bad to say that because I'm like, man, Alabama in every year. We ain't got to worry about that. But now I'm like, let me see what we play next because it might. I mean, that Vandy loss hurt.
That Vandy loss, man. That one right there. If the committee has to come together, especially if they're the shit the bed for the rest of the year, if the committee come together, like y'all got to me in my eyes, you all have to win the SEC.
Yep.
I wouldn't leave it up to a committee or not because there's a lot of attractive teams that want to go and that they're going to want to be in there. You don't have the glow and the money factor of Nick Saban anymore. Who Nick Saban only missed one playoff, I believe.
Yep. One.
About right.
One.
Yep. Yeah. You don't have that. Like he was a focal point and a mainstay when it came to the playoff. And yeah, it's one of those things where the margin of error is so low for an Alabama team. Like this is some different shit. But somebody I was listening, I can't remember who it was. It was like when it comes, I believe it was Bo Money Jones. He said when you come to those legacy programs like that, and organization where they haven't had a whole bunch of successful coaches like that, and their coaches like really stay from Bear Bryant to Nick Saban, the margin of error is so low. By other college standards, you can be fine with a couple wins or whatever and playoff bursts and stuff, but they go there for championships. And DeBoer, he don't got a whole lot of years to win that first ring. I just want to make that abundantly clear. And losing to Vandy, them boosters don't like that, but they especially don't like almost losing back-to-back to South Carolina or whatever. A play that I was going to highlight that I thought was funny was that last interception. Yeah. And as I'm looking at it, I'm like, yeah, I don't think a Nick Saban player would have done that. You know what I mean? Like grab the interception and take it down and go backward into the end zone. I think the discipline and like the wherewithal to, hey, look, I can see Nick saying, hey, if you intercept it in the end zone, go ahead and kneel. If you intercept it right outside the end zone, you get it from over there. You secure the ball, but you get it from over there. The fact that the South Carolina player knew, hey, wait a minute, if I hit him now, that's a safety. It's a tight game and we're going into overtime. It's those little mistakes that let you know, going back to what you were saying, Greg, Nick Saban ain't walking through that door. He's not on that sideline. This is not the same program. And what comes with that is you have a Vandy. You got a wolf that's been a wolf pup. It's been picked on by bigger wolves for so long. And all of a sudden, wait a minute, that OG wolf, he wounded. He ain't the same cat no more. And I done lived long enough to be pissed off long enough to get my revenge on him. So with that being said, like Chris, what did you think just quickly of what happened with the Bama and South Carolina situation?
Discipline, man. Kalen DeBoer, I'm not saying he's a bad coach, but it don't seem like he got the hold of them reins. Obviously, he can't have it like Saban did, but I've seen so many undisciplined, unforced issues the last two games with the Vandy game and this game that that's not Alabama. Like, what is that? Like, right. I don't know, man. I heard the old saying.
Real. We saw it in Georgia.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, we saw it in Georgia too.
Yeah, and I heard the old saying, man. You don't want to be a guy following the man. You want to be a guy following the man that follows the man. Like, you don't.
The boys should have stayed in Washington. Let the next guy fuck up if they
then come in.
You want to be that guy. You want to be that guy. Let Deion go over there and do it. Boy, let me tell you something. And we're about to transition. It's perfect transition because that's who we're talking about next. Who was that suggest? I don't think it was you, Greg. It suggested to me that it should be Deion's job, Alabama. It should have been Deion's job after Saban was done. And I heard it, and I said, "Oh, you think that the Alabama boosters, them good old boys, is gonna let that African American man?" Now, I'm not gonna say what I really want to say. They're gonna let that African American man come down there with his chains on and his big shades with their reflect, and sitting up there talking about Louis bag and letting rappers come into the locker room and all that. You think that guy was gonna go down to Tuscaloosa? You think he was about to go down to Tuscaloosa acting like? No, there was never a chance. There's never a chance. Look, we can play for him, but we ain't never gonna coach for him like that. Let's just be abundantly clear. We can play for them all day. They ain't never gonna do that. So going up to Colorado versus Kansas State. Colorado is a much improved team from week one. I want to just give all the credit to Deion on that, on getting that team together. They're 4-2 right now. I personally said they was gonna get their ass kicked. That hasn't quite been the case. I'll eat crow on that. With that being said, man, Travis Hunter is a special player, but he ain't 100 and some plays a game special. We'll never see a player that special playing on both sides of the field. I saw a tweet that said, "Dad, how special was Travis Hunter?" And the caption was, "This is my response." It was a picture where the Fox big game play on both sides of the ball, and both of them had Travis Hunter's face on. That's some special shit.
Yeah.
What he does and how much he's bailed them out in their victories, you can't continue to count on that and run that boy into the ground like that. And then the fact that the offense actually looked good without him, it lets you know like it's excessive how much they use Travis Hunter. With that being said, I don't know what I think they're going to get a bowl berth. Like I can see Colorado getting a bowl berth. And Kansas State wasn't all that impressive to me. I think the rest of this year probably just needs to focus on what they've been wanting to focus on, and that's getting Shedeur Sanders into the first round or whatever, and Travis Hunter as well. But I want to ask a different question. Well, first of all, what did you think of the game? And secondly, is Deion going to be a better coach without his sons there? Start with you, Chris.
Like you said, I wasn't too impressed with the game, man. Kansas State definitely didn't play their best ball. This is a team people picked to win the Big 12 preseason. But again, that is a testament to how much Colorado has improved. I was another person who said they're going to get their ass kicked. So save some of that crow for me, bro. But back on the Prime situation, I think it will allow him to really go deep into his bag of coaching, not having his sons there and revolving everything around them. Now, does he stay at Colorado when his sons leave? I don't know. But if he continues to build on that program with Texas and Oklahoma gone, I can see them being Big 12 contenders year in and year out, because I do think that him and his coaching staff do have the ability to put some shit together. They already have. So when you actually start incorporating other pieces, instead of just focusing on Shedeur, Trav, and Shiloh, I think they may be able to cook some shit up, man. I'm going back on everything I said. They've been impressing me. So I think that's what's going to happen with Prime. If he stays there and really puts his foot on that gravel, man, and starts building that shit up, oh, man, it's going to be tough to beat, man.
One thing that can't be understated is his ability to galvanize a team. And I believe he's done that. I believe they've challenged their energy and been less focused on the show and more focused on the X's and O's, and they've benefited from that thus far. Greg, what are your thoughts on, again, that game and how Colorado would look without Shedeur and Shiloh? As, by the way, Shiloh was terrible. And I think, honestly, that's part that's a big part of why they lost, if you want me to be honest with you. He was out of his depth in that game. They could have let him play some snaps, but having him play the full game like that, that's an ego thing. That's some ego shit. You don't want to hear his mouth when you go home. And then you get on there and get in front of the cameras. And shit, he's harder on Shiloh than he is Shador. He gets in front of the cameras and say you played terrible. Well, if you knew that, why you ain't taking the fuck out? But anyway,
his son.
Stepping on you, man. Go ahead.
No, because that's his son. That's what he gonna do. Now I'm gonna answer the first one. The game was, to me, wasn't as impressive, but I mean, I got to give it to him. They had pressure all on Shador all game. Like, they ate him up. And as far as their offense, the run game and the over the top game just looked like it looked for them phenomenal in that game. But yeah, like you said, Shiloh could not. I didn't see him helping them win that game. I think that was the biggest hurdle for them. Not having Travis, I think that hurt them a lot. And I think that shows. I think that goes into the question about if he would stay once they leave, and seeing how that would work when one of your star players is out. We know Deion. I'm gonna be real. Deion's selfish. Deion really. Everybody loves him. I know what he did for JSU. Love him for that. But at the same time, he's not gonna stay once they get into the league. His objective was to get a ring and make his sons look good. And that's what he's been doing. He's been focusing on that. I think it's still, he's trying to get 2 more prime times into the league. Once they hit the league, he gets comfortable. That contract start running out, he gone. And that's why not just the good old boys in Alabama, but they don't want him coming there because how he left. And he's going to do the same thing for Colorado, I think. I think once they get into that league, prime time going home. That's it.
Oh, that'll be interesting.
I mean, I could be wrong. I could be wrong, but at the same time, the way I remember Deion Sanders in the league, it was all about him, baby. It's the prime time. I'm the show. So you think about it when
I still coach prime.
Right. So you think about it, if my star players are gone, now I really have to be a coach again. I gotta build this team up again. Does he really want to do that? Or is it just I want my sons to get drafted based off of their skill playing with me. I played with my dad. I played well, and I'm in the league. Man, that's accolades. Them accolades all day long. And I think with Deion Sanders, it's more so what I'm going to get out of it in the end. And my son's finna go to the league. Once they in that league, hey, man, it was fun. This whole football thing was fun. I'm out.
I'm of 2 minds here. One, part of me wants to believe that Deion, or in what he said, is that he's more interested in leading and impacting the lives of children or kids, rather, and that he wants to see young men succeed and get kind of that coaching in there and those opportunities that he didn't have when he was at FSU. I think that's a powerful thing, and a powerful thing to aspire to be. And that's one thing about his desire to coaching in college that I like. The other mind is I saw that man go on 60 Minutes and say that God led him to go to JSU. And when it was time to go to Colorado, I saw that man go on 60 Minutes. Same program. He didn't even go to another program. He went to the same program and said God led him to go to. Oh boy, y'all better keep me talking about Deion. All right, I'm the JSU alumni here. I don't know, Chris. Did you go to JSU?
I went to Alcorn State.
Well, I'm gonna kick you out the damn thing. Anyway, here we go. I'm the JSU alum here, and so I'm gonna try and keep my passions out of this. And because here's what on U-GeekTV, I was typing this thing out today about what the channel description is, and it's about objectivity and being unbiased. So here we go. I don't understand bringing God into it in that regard for two different places, for the same job, two different places. I don't understand it. I have a thing where when it comes to like people when they tout their religion, I'm a religious person, was raised in church. My dad was a devout Christian as well as my mother. And I've seen enough churches and enough preachers to know when somebody really walk what they talk. And I'm not quite sure Deion walks what he talks in that regard. And that's where my issues kind of come in with him at. And so outside of the 60 minutes part, is whatever. My thing is, you're saying that there are people that need you in Colorado, and Boulder is one of the most wealthy cities. And Jackson is one of the poorest cities in the United States.
Mm-hmm.
And in Jackson, you was bringing money to communities of people that look like you. And in Boulder, Colorado, you tried to use that same rhetoric on 60 Minutes, thinking that your personality was going to keep people from kind of seeing the real. Boulder was a Deion move. Don't bring God into that. Amen. That's just how I feel. Lord, if I'm wrong, forgive me, please. But don't bring it into that. And every step that he is taking, like Greg said, has been about Deion. Shador and Shiloh just happen to be proxies for what Deion is.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if he's really going to leave once his 5-star quarterback is gone. And I'm very interested to see if that's the case. Back in or a decent quarterback to carry that offense in their absence, Colorado is going to make quick work of him. Because at the end of the day, the grace you would have had with JSU, you ain't about to have it up there in Colorado.
Not at all. Nope.
Oh,
and it ain't going to last. And that part, honestly, Greg, I think I talked myself into your position on this. Because that's what will make him leave.
Yep.
That's what will make him leave.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not about to fail. I'm not about to fail immediately after my son is gone. I'm interested to see if he's gonna stay now. That's another plot line that we'll pick up or keep up with as we go on with this show. Now, I'm sorry I took some extra time there, but it kind of just fell on me, man. Like y'all really got me to thinking about this. As a former JSU fan, I hope. Right, it is a full cycle. So yeah, we're gonna keep up with that. Moving on. We were just talking about Ohio State and how it brings great joy to see them lose. I love to see Ole Miss lose too. Every time Ole Miss is a championship contender, they fuck up early. Every time. And I love it. 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 You know why? I'm about to get real with you again. As a resident of Mississippi, all of us grew up in Mississippi, so we know the bullshit that goes on around there. The motherfuckers up there in Oxford, they can get bit and choke on one. That's how I feel about them. I want them to lose every time they get. They we good enough to play for them. We good enough to play for them.
Right.
But all that other stuff, man, they'll let the South rise again. They'll be the first ones at the gate to let everybody
holding the flags.
All them damn Confederate flags they still got going down there, and them damn lynch trucks that they rolling around. Man, fuck Ole Miss, man. I'll be ready for them. I'm so glad LSU came back and made that shit right the other day. Anyways, look, man, y'all got me heated. Greg, well, how did you feel about the Ole Miss, the LSU comeback on Ole Miss, man?
Man, fuck Ole Miss, but so to me they still look strong, even though I dislike them. I really wish Trey Harris would have made that dunk. I hate to say it, but I really wish he would have made that dunk in that game. That'd have been like the most disrespectful thing.
Yeah, that was so disrespectful.
That was disrespectful, but I was like, man, had he made that dunk, that would have been pivotal. Like LSU had to put them in the dirt. And honestly, LSU had a bunch of chances to end that game. Like they had a bunch of chances to end the game. They just basically Butterfingers. Like, I mean, to me, that game probably should have been up They should have won by maybe 4 touchdowns. But I'm glad they still won because it's fuck Ole Miss forever. Like you said, man. Like we coming from Mississippi, everybody brown skin knows it's certain cities you just don't mess up in. You don't go to. You don't travel around. And Ole Miss, Oxford, that area, they could offer me a full ride to Ole Miss, and I go to Jones Community College. I kid you not. I go to Jones,
Great,
man. Because it's just, man, that team, and that just fuels me every time I see them play. That just fuels me further to go against them. Like I literally, I was watching. It was probably this. No, it wasn't this game. I forgot what game I was watching, and they have a shirt that says "SIP," like in the SEC emblem, and it says "SIP," and I'm like, y'all ain't SIP. Don't use that. That ain't SIP. That's too black for y'all. Don't use SIP. JSU, Alcorn, that's SIP. That's SIP, baby. That's SIP. Y'all ain't SIP. Y'all Oxford, bro. That's who y'all are. We know what y'all about. Don't try to steal that. But anytime they lose, man, I know the heavens open up and we get more angels, bro, because I can't stand them, dog. I can't stand them, man.
I cannot stand that organization. But Chris, go ahead. Tell me your thoughts on the game.
Hey, shout out to the homie Greg, man. It's fuck Ole Miss forever, man. You know, on top of being a Louisiana boy, man, you know, I've never been an LSU fan, but it is always good when the whole state can you know come together on something. You know, all the shit we got going on, but you know, when LSU wins, especially with comeback fashion against a rival like them, oh yeah, we turning up. So I love to see it. Greg, you mentioned the drops. Yeah, man. Xavier Thomas dropped a touchdown. Aaron Anderson dropped a touchdown. Like they should have been put them boys away. Right. But you know, the fact that they fought back, man, it's just something different in that water out there, man. Shout out to Mississippi too. You know, I spent a large majority of my life there as well. And I've never liked Ole Miss, bro. Like, never liked Ole Miss,
bro,
dog.
You ain't gonna find about too many people outside of Oxford, especially our color, that like Ole Miss, man. I don't care where you got that damn degree from, man. I'm talking crazy about them every chance I get. Every single chance I get to say something crazy about them, I'm gonna take it. And then, hey, check this out. My in-laws are from Starkville.
Ooh.
So you know it's up. Every egg bowl is up. Every time, man. Anyways,
yes,
all right, so we gonna get up out of here because it's a very special. Well, we got 2 more games that I want to just touch on. Pause real quick. Texas and OU. Boy, let me tell you something. For a couple of drives, I thought they were gonna call Arch back. That boy had to get, Quentin Ewers had to get it together because hey, you got that. Arch is look, he wants that position. He look, you boy, you better. If it had actually been a shootout in the Red River shootout, shit, we'll be having a whole different conversation. But anyways, Chris, I know you wanted to say a little bit about Oklahoma, so the floor is yours, my brother.
Yeah, we gonna keep this nice, quick, short to the point, man. If there's any college football team I can't fucking stand, it is Oklahoma. And if you're a college football savant, I'm gonna say 1 year, and that's all you need to know. And I'm gonna pass it to you, Greg. 2003. 2003 Oklahoma was privileged out the wazoo. Got their ass blown out by Darren Sproles.
Yes,
in
I
the
remember.
Big 12 championship game.
Yeah,
and still went to the Natty.
Yeah, I remember
got their ass beat up
Yeah.
by LSU. The fact that they still went to the Natty, fuck Oklahoma forever.
That's one of many situations. Where that gave birth to the playoff. I remember how, now that you've jogged my memory on it, boy, they was hot about that. But Greg, go ahead.
I ain't got much because y'all didn't kind of put the nail in the coffin, but I really wanted Texas to lose that game. I knew it wasn't I was every drop pass, every sack, every 4th and 2, I was happy. And then they just came out. Like you said, Arch Manning was back there telling Brady, look, you fuck up one more time, bro. I'm gonna come out there. I'm gonna put this Marlboro down, and I'm gonna step on that field. Now, don't let me put this Marlboro out now. It's gonna be a problem. And I guess it was like, you know what? All right, bro, I got this. And then they just came back, and my heart just fell out. Like I'm in Starbucks trying to do homework, watching the game, and the lady over there looking at me. I'm slamming my hand. I forgot I was in public because they had scored. I forgot where I was, man. I was so mad. I just turned the whole game off. I ain't even care no more, man. I ain't even much care no more, bro. I was pissed. I just wanted you to lose. And he know why. He know why.
I know exactly
he know why. He know why.
Listen, man. Listen. At the end of the day, they got to end, Greg. It's okay, man. It's all right. But hey, it might next week might be the week they're going against Georgia, right?
Yes, sir.
We definitely better talk about the game. Because one thing I know about the SEC, a team can look one way in one game and look completely different in another. Yeah. I want to see how Georgia and Texas plays out. Last game we gonna get into. This is hilarious, man. Colin Cowherd, who is one of like the best commentators out there, was drunk as hell when USC was up on Penn State by like 20-3 or something like that. And he just went to talking about like just praising Lincoln Riley. He loves his Lincoln Riley. Lincoln Riley is a quarterback whisperer. I don't take anything away from Lincoln Riley. I feel like Jalen Hurts owes his current career a lot of it as a quarterback to Lincoln Riley.
Mm-hmm.
This wonderkin that Lincoln Riley, I don't get it. I've never gotten why Lincoln Riley is just praised the way he is. Then I found out the history about him in Oklahoma, where he accused people of breaking into his house and all that kind of stuff after he betrayed them and took Caleb Williams and all that kind of stuff. I don't understand what the hype is. Here's the thing. That's somebody else who clock getting ready to start running out. Lincoln Riley be having these teams that ain't got no defense worth, but then when they do have a defense worth, but then they end up choking away the lead and all that kind of stuff. Chris, you informed me earlier that you would love to talk about Lincoln Riley. This is my gift. This is my gift to you, my friend. Go ahead.
Appreciate you, bro. Hey, man, Lincoln Riley just so happened to be an innocent bystander caught up in the Oklahoma hate, big dog. Like you said, man, Oklahoma was God's gift to college football when he was there. And I know he got to the playoffs with Baker and Kyler, but and with Jalen Hurts. Okay, cool. If you get into the playoffs that many years in a row and you getting your ass smacked that many years in a row, I don't think nothing of you, bro. So it's like you said, that's the landscape of college football, right? Offense. But if you can't stop no damn body, how good of a coach are you? How good of a coach are you to not put somebody on your staff to put you in position to play a complete game? So I don't have nothing against the man personally, but hey, you coached at OU, dog. I don't fuck with you, dog. It's plain and simple for me, bro. Like you said, that the wonder kid ain't won shit, and he ain't done nothing, bro. So.
He ain't too far away from Lane Kiffin, but that's a different conversation for another day. Ooh. But to me, he ain't too far from Lane Kiffin. And that's the beauty of Ole Miss, because I already didn't like them, but having him just really sealed it for me. They really did it for me, man. They did it. I didn't like Lane Kiffin to the point where I didn't want Alabama to win when he was over there. But I used to love watching Nick Saban cuss that boy out there almost every weekend, though. I used to love seeing that. I remember Nick Saban looked at him once. Boy, God damn it. What are you doing? A false start? Are you serious? Now, Lane Kiffin just looking over there, looking like a damn buzzard, like he always do. Greg, you got anything to say about Lincoln Riley before we get up out of here, man?
Chris took that, man. I ain't even finna steal his thunder like that. Like you took that, so I'm gonna let you have that, homie. Like I was just like, you know what, man, I ain't nothing I can say after that. Like I don't want to be in the crosshairs, man. I'm just looking out for myself. I'm being safe, bro.
Well, look, man, with that being said, it's time for us to get up out of here. We got a lot of games coming up next week. Like the aforementioned Texas and Georgia game. I know the NFL.
Tennessee.
Yes, Bama and Tennessee has one. That's another one I'm glued in on because, like I say, it's blood in the water with Alabama right now, and they about to start getting people's bets. Like they're really about to get chin checked. And of course, the NFL. I haven't really looked at their slate, but I know it's plenty. It's plenty going on and going around. Also, real quick, maybe next episode, depending on how they play, it might be time for us to start talking about the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They put up 50 last game.
51.
Baker Antoine Mayfield is out here, boy. That boy, he out here playing, man. That's another thing. Bro, when I tell you the problem, honestly, if Deshaun Watson had to go anywhere else but the Browns, I think he'd be fine because they clearly the issue. The Browns are clearly what's wrong. Anyways, man, we'll talk about a whole lot more next week. And man, it was a pleasure working with you, gentlemen, and I look forward to working with you throughout the season, man, as we keep this thing rolling. Man. There's plenty more to talk about. The NFL season is young, the college football season is young, and man, we got a lot more to break down and discuss. Until next time, with my hosts, Greg and Chris, I am Jarius, the Unapologetic Geek. We are the Unapologetic Football Show, and we are out.